Hi, this is Monica, and I am here to give you a very short introduction about the semantic data control. So, what is the semantic data control? It is all about the data and the access control. It includes the view management, security control, and the semantic integrity control. So, these functions must ensure that the authorized user perform the correct operation on the database, contributing to the maintenance of the database integrity. So its main objective is to ensure that correct operation should be performed on the database, and consistency should be followed when we perform the operations on the queries or the database. So the first point in this semantic data control is the view management. So view management enables the full logical data independence. These are the virtual relations that are derived as a result of query on the base relations. So it's all about the virtual relation that is generated from base relation by the query. So basic example of the view management in the semantic data control is as shown. In this case we are creating a view season from the table employee. So in this case we are creating those views, that is those entities in these views that have the title system analyst. So its syntax is create view season e number e name at select e number e name from emp, where the title is equal to system.analyst. So here we are getting the views. In this case we are getting those entities that have the title system.analyst. So they can be manipulated as the base relations. These views are very useful for ensuring the data security in the simple way, like we are creating those entities, and the other entities are hidden from the user, so we are maintaining the data security so that user cannot see the hidden data. We can modify the query as given below. So uh, queries expressed on the base relations, like we are creating those entities that are that we as per as our requirements. So here we can create those views that have the same employee number. So this is the basic example. There are two types of the views, that is updatable views and non-updatable views. So view management in the distributed database. All the views can be queried as the base relation, but not all the views can be updated, as such updates through views can be handled automatically only if they can be propagated correctly to the base relations. View definition storage should be treated as the database storage. We can use the materialized views. Materialized views stored as the database relation, possibly with the indices. So the next point in this case is the data security. So data security provides the main two aspects, that is the first one is the data protection and another is the access control. So data protection prevents the physical content of the data to be understood by unauthorized users, and access control only authorize the user perform operation they are allowed on the database objects. Okay, so this is the case where we are again getting the 2 points. First one is the discretionary access control and another is the multi-level access control. So three actors are involved in the authorization, like the users who trigger the execution of application programs, and the operations which are embedded in the application programs, and the database objects on which the operations are to be performed. Data security is very important in the cases of RDBMS and also another databases, so that we can maintain the consistency, integrity, and also the security of the database, so that no one can harm the database. So discretionary access control. In this case, the main actors are subjects, operation, and the objects on which the operation is to be performed. So in this case, we are checking first of all the subject that may perform an operation on an object. So we are performing the authorization. Authorization can be using the transaction control commands like the grant and the revoke, so that if we grant some access to the databases, then the user can access the database, and if we revoke, then we can get the access of the users back. So what are the problems with discretionary access control? The malicious user can access the unauthorized data through the authorized user. For example, if the user A has authorized access to the R and S, then B has authorized access to S only. The B can read the unauthorized data without violating the authorization rule. So here we need to perform the multi-level security based control access. So multi-level access control. There are different security levels in the cases of like as the name implies the multi-level security control. So first of all the top secret, then confidential, and then unclassified. So these are controlled by the two rules. First of all is non-read up and non-write down. Subject S, if for example if subject S is allowed to read an object of level L, then it is applied to the level S only. It protect the data from the unauthorized disclosure. And no write down, in this case subject S is allowed to write an object of level L only if level S is less than or equal to L. So here the semantic integrity control, this is the last that is involved in the semantic data control. So semantic integrity control maintain the database integrity by enforcing a set of constraints defined on the database. So there are two types of the constraints that the semantic integrity control can apply. First is the structural constraints and another is the behavioral constraints. So structural constraints is the basic semantic property inherent to the data model. For example, unique key constraint in relational model, and another is the behavioral constraint regulate the application behavior. Example, dependencies in the relational model. Then there are two components: integrity constraint specification and integrity constraint enforcement. So integrity constraint specification, in this case there are three types. First one is the predefined, then another is the precompiled, and third one is the general constraints. So predefined constraints are based upon the simple keywords like non-null attribute, then unique key. With the help of unique key we can get those data that are uniquely specified from the another data. So basic syntax is employee number, p number, unique in ASG. Like this is the basic example of the table and the views that are created. So in these cases of the precompiled constraints, they express the precondition that must be specified on all the tuples in the relation, like if we want some unique key values, or if we wanted some like a greater than or less than properties that we are applying to, so we can use the precompiled constraints. And the another is the general constraint. In this case we are applying the functional dependency, like in the two constraints, or we are applying the check on uh, properties on the operations. So functional dependencies can be applied like e1 of employed, e2 of employed. So some basic relation like equality constraint can be applied in this case. There is another also like enforcing semantic integrity constraint that consists of rejecting the updates programs that violate some integrity constraints. So therapy major problem is we have to apply the efficient algorithms. So this is precompiled constraints. I already told about this. This is general constraint, check on functional dependency, and constraint with aggregate function. So basically we can conclude from this that the semantic data control includes the views, authorization, and integrity constraint. View enables the full logical independence. Then queries are expressed on the views are translated into the queries expressed on base relationship. They can be views can be updatable, non-updatable. There are also three aspects are involved in the authorization: user, operation, and data objects. The semantic integrity constraint maintain the database in consistency. Self-oriented assertion involve joins between the fragments and optimal. Then the constraint detection versus constraint prevention also we have seen. SQL enforces the assertion, but they are not yet supported by the DBMS. So the individual assertions are checked for each fragment. So this is all about the semantic data control. We have seen the view management, data security, and semantic integrity constraints. Semantic integrity constraints apply the two constraint enforcement constraints. Two techniques also involved in this case. So this is all about how we protect the data from the user, how we apply the authorization access to the users, and how we use the database, how we can view the database, what types of techniques that we can give to the user so that they can use the database, and so this is all about it. Thank you so much.